everyone, thanks for joining us and welcome to Screaming on the Inside, a UKAT podcast. I'm Lucia, your host for today and a member of the alumni team here at UKAT. Our guest today is Primrose Lodge Alumnus Arpan. Arpan spent 56 days in treatment and has over 2 years of sobriety. He courageously shares his journey from rock bottom, near fatality experiences and incarceration to finding the strength and resilience to overcome his suffering. Thanks for listening.
Hiya guys, I'm here joined by Arpan. He was an alumnus of Primrose Lodge, our treatment centre down in Guildford, Surrey. He's over 2 years clean and sober. He just wanted to pop on and say hi to you guys and share a bit about his story and where he's at now. Hi Arpan.
Hello,
Thanks for joining. Good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for joining us today, Arpan. Yes, so did you want to give a little introduction to yourself and tell the guys a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm originally from the States, as you can probably tell from my accent. My sister lives in England, so that was primarily the reason I came over to England for rehab. So I'm 41 years old. I'm struggling with substance abuse for a better part of the last 20 years of my life. Let's see, it started initially from drinking alcohol to smoking marijuana, and then progressively it got worse. I was introduced to pain medication, which was really rapid in the United States. So I was taking pain medication, Oxycontin, Percocets, Vicodin, which led me down to a horrible path, of course, which eventually led me to using heroin and then eventually fentanyl, which is really, really a big issue in the States. And then eventually I explored a little bit more and then started using methamphetamine as well. So like it started really small and then progressively got worse and worse and harder. And it definitely, ruined aspects of my life throughout that time. But luckily I've got a little over 2 years clean, which is the longest I've had ever.
Amazing. Congratulations.
I'm doing really well. It's just been a blessing. With the help of my family, my unconditional love for my family and, close ones. And then, some people you meet along the way that are part of your journey as well. But yeah, I've been blessed, lucky to been able to go to Primrose and got the tools and the foundation that I needed to live a life that I'm happy about and clean and healthy, which has been really good. It's been great.
Amazing. So you mentioned that you have struggled quite a while with substance abuse. What age did you start abusing? Was it alcohol that you started?
Yes, initially started with alcohol.
Yeah.
Abusing alcohol is probably like my late teens, early 20s when I was in college. United States has a big college drinking scene, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's primarily where it started, and then also the marijuana use as well around that time.
How many years then did it progress to the more, stronger?
So the drinking and excess marijuana use probably throughout college, and then after it got worse. So I would give a good drinking and marijuana use is probably a good 7-8 years. And I periodically throughout my time where I was abusing, I would, substitute. So I'd go back to drinking excessively for a period of time and then, go back to using another substance. But it started with alcohol, marijuana, and then I had some health issues, surgeries, which I was prescribed pain medication, and then started using it recreationally. And that was probably my mid to late 20s. And that lasted a good amount of time because it progressed to using heroin and eventually fentanyl. But while using heroin, like I was saying, there'd be times where I'd, stop using one drug and substitute it for another for a period of time and then go back. So
yeah. And the drinking and the marijuana use, was that obviously you were in college. Was that more of a social thing at the time? Did it start off being just a social thing, and then did you ever drink, and smoke while you were by yourself, or was it always socially that you would do that?
I mean, usually, like for me, it started out socially, absolutely, like hanging out with friends, going out, going to parties, going to just social events, and then smoking as well in those environments, and then progressively, doing it when you're alone, and that progressed to like me abusing. Like I rather prefer to drink alone at certain points, further down. But yeah, it started out as a social thing, and then it just consumed me, and it ended up being like I just did it by myself all the time when I was alone. I'd prefer to be alone. So yeah.
Did that affect your work at college? Did that affect like your concentration and your ability to do your work on time?
Yeah, like initially not so much, but yeah, when it progressed to where it was just consume my everyday life, absolutely. Like I preferred to drink and smoke rather than going to class and stuff. So I mean, it definitely absolutely affected my college education. Absolutely. Like I didn't even finish school because I was so wrapped up in my, that was part of the reason as well. Consumed by, using, and that's what I prefer to do rather than doing anything else. So absolutely.
Yeah.
Affected.
How did that affect your relationships with others? Did you start to then isolate yourself gradually more and more?
Oh, absolutely. It just put me into like you kind of go into like hibernation, and it just affects everything, right? So it affects my school, like I said, relationships, friends, like childhood friends or friends that you meet when you're, not abusing, when you're like quote unquote normal, whatever that might be. But yeah, absolutely. Like I lost relationships, good friends, girlfriends, like I started to, manipulate and abuse those relationships for my benefit. But absolutely lost friends, lost trust, and then people just drop off. Like they don't want to deal with, you or your lies and your habits and stuff. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, it affected my family even more so. So yeah, it definitely affected it negatively for sure.
And then you mentioned that you then were prescribed pain medication. Is that what then got you into using opiates?
I mean, that was the first time I had the taste of it, as you would call, like maybe like the effects of taking pain medication, how it made me feel. I had some oral issues, dental work, like very invasive surgery, and I was prescribed pain medication. And then at the time, when you're taking pain medication for the pain, you don't feel the intensity as much. But then when I was healed and healing up, and I had a friend that had access to them, and I've tried them before, and so I took them out of what the doctor recommended. So taking them illegally, but then the euphoric feeling I had from taking them, the effect that I had from taking them was, I mean, it was absolutely amazing. I've never felt that kind of euphoric feeling in my life. So then I just wanted more and more and more, and that just took me down another bad path. But yeah.
And how long were you abusing the pain medication for before you started using heroin?
So probably opioid pills, probably maybe a little over a few years. And then the U.S. started like passing, because it became an epidemic in America. It was really, really bad. And so government, took light of it and like started cracking down on doctors prescribing them so loosely. And those opioid pills or medication were hard to come by, and if they were really expensive if you did come by them. So, and then the alternate was heroin, which is cheaper, and you get it's more intense of a high. So, most people like that went down that path, like me, pretty much just graduated to using heroin. So I said Pain medication, probably a little over a few years. And then I started using, once I had heroin, I just started using heroin. I didn't even care about using the pain pills.
Were your family aware that you were abusing painkillers and taking them, longer than prescribed?
At that time, no, they weren't aware. Because I also wasn't living, my sister lived overseas. So like she wasn't, around day to day. I would talk to her on the phone, and I'd see her maybe here, a few times a year. But my parents were kind of naive to it. But I was, being an addict, I was good at hiding it and good at, manipulating the situation and environment. So, around that time, I don't think they had a clue. I don't think they had any idea that what I was doing or how bad I was.
Yeah. Moving on to heroin, how did that affect your life? Was it much harder to hide it from your friends? Did you manage to hold down a job, or? So
at that, the time where I was abusing heroin around that time, at that point I pretty much lost all my good friends growing up with, friends that I had, actually meaningful relationships. So majority of the relationships I had were with people I would consider friends now, or I wouldn't want to be in that crowd around those people. But, just you're where you get your drugs from, and then people that use
using,
I feel like it's not really a friendship. It's just so I lost a lot of friendships then. So then it just I isolated even more, and then it's that vicious cycle of self-pity, self-worth, and then it's ongoing. It was an ongoing cycle. But at that time I was working, but literally I was working to supply my habit, and I would get paid and it would go straight to my drug dealer because I owed him for the drug use I had the week prior. So it was just a cycle that I had to work in order to supply my addiction, and it was just a cycle. I was always behind 1 week and had nothing to show for it, and then that's also going along with lying, manipulating, and stealing from my family in order to supply my habit, So it was just every aspect of my life was consumed by getting that, and how am I going to get high, and how much can I get? So
and at the time, Arpan, did you realize how bad your addiction had got, or were you in denial? Did you try ever at that point reaching out for help at all, or?
There were times where I would be like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm a junkie, I'm a drug addict, what am I doing? And I would seek out help, and around in the States they would have pain management doctors and stuff like that would help you. They would prescribe Suboxone and Subutex and stuff like that for people that want to get off heroin or opiates. So I think I went maybe two times that I can remember walking into the doctor's office, and the one time I was so dehydrated and so out of it that they couldn't even take blood work from me, and they had to take blood from my neck because I was so dehydrated and so out of it. With Suboxone, you have to wait a certain period of time before you start taking it. Otherwise, it'll take you, if you take it too soon, it'll take you into instant withdrawal, preparatorial withdrawal. And so then, you're withdrawing instantly, which is not fun at all. So I attempted it, but then I would walk in, and then, I'm going to do this. And then I'd walk out the doctor's office, and later that day, I'm back at it again, because the physical withdrawals are so intense. And then also your mind is consumed by it still as well. So, and I also had a lot of illegal issues too. My drinking caused me to have, total, I have 4, I guess called drink and drive. I got 4 of them total. 3 3 of them were related to alcohol. One was related to my heroin use, where I nodded out and fell asleep at the traffic light in my car. Luckily, I mean, the angel looking over, like no one got hurt. No one got hurt. No one got hurt, and I'm alive. But I've had a lot of legal issues, and then my heroin use, like I've got legal trouble with like theft and forgery. You know, trying to get money in order to supply my habit, and I was willing to do anything and everything at that time. So yeah.
Is it like a local service type thing that you have then, where you can get that medication to come off the heroin?
Yeah, it depends. Like I live in Ohio, and Ohio is one of the states that's got a huge heroin problem, and like at least the last few years, there's this drug called Narcan, and you can literally go to any pharmacy, a hospital, police station, Publix, like first aid response buildings, stuff like that. Well, they'll have Narcan. They'll just give it to you, so you can carry it around with you, or store it in your car, or keep it in your house. If if you're a user, or if you have a family or loved one that's using, you can carry that around with you just in case. Some places I've seen, they've got vending machines set up with just Narcan. You can just go there and get it yourself for free. But those, like, when it comes to like doctors and stuff like that, there are certain, like, I think they're pain management doctors that will, welcome people to walk in if they need help. So usually, they'll probably send you to, they would want you to detox. And if there's facilities that will do detox, and there's like hospitals, if you go walk to a hospital, they'll most likely make sure you're okay, and then refer you to like a center that can, handle the detox. So, I mean, there's resources out there. You just have to find it and willing to go.
What then took you on to then go to fentanyl?
I think it just became so accessible. Like everywhere, every time you go buy it from your drug dealer or whoever you're getting it from, fentanyl was cheaper, stronger. Yeah, so since it's stronger, it takes a lot less than heroin to get you high. Like I mean, they say that the size of the end of a needle, 2-3 droplets of that will kill you. So, I mean, drug dealers is, supply and demand, and people, want the stronger drug, and it's easier to, smuggle, easier to transport compared to like heroin, where it takes a lot more. It's just bad. It's all bad. You go buy heroin, and then it's fentanyl, and then it just pretty much replaced heroin, and like it's just fentanyl everywhere now. Now they'll have like even stronger carfentanil, and there's like other drugs that are out now that are even stronger than fentanyl. So it's all synthetically made in the lab. So
scary, isn't it? It's really scary.
And it's all synthetically made in labs and overseas and different countries, but it takes less to get you high, and it's stronger, and so it's just for the drug dealer, it just makes sense. Why not?
And for you, how did that feel? Like intense high? Yeah,
so like I don't remember exactly the first time that I tried fentanyl, but I remember when using fentanyl, the high is more intense, but doesn't last as long. So then, as heroin for me is like I would do heroin, and it would last for an extended period of time, like maybe a few hours.
You get that quick high, like cocaine, say, like you get a really quick high and then come down.
So like heroin, you'd last a good solid maybe 3-4 whatever hours.
Yeah.
But fentanyl, you'd be higher, but it would only last maybe a fraction of that time. So then you're always wanting to do more and do more and do more, and then ends up costing more than doing heroin. I was chasing that, and I've overdosed. Let's see, I had to be Narcan about, that I can remember, 4 or 5 times, and 2 of those times were my parents in their house.
Oh gosh.
And and then the other times were my parents had to drive me to the hospital, and I got Narcan at the hospital. So not something I'm proud of, and it's something I just, it still weighs on me. But I was lucky for them to be there, and I'm lucky to be alive. So there's times during my youth where I would either get in trouble and be forced to get clean for a period of time because I'm on probation, or I was, requested to go to rehab. So, get clean for a few months and then go back at it. One of the times where when I started using heroin, maybe a year and a half, two after starting using heroin, I had this moment where I went down. I was at my parents' house and I went downstairs, and I pretty much told my dad, I was like, Dad, I need to talk to you. And they had no idea. And I was like, I need help. I've been using heroin. It took him aback. He was absolutely shocked. He didn't even know what to say, how to respond. He just sat there for a bit. So then, I went to that pain doctor that I mentioned earlier. And then my parents were naive. They didn't know what to do, how to help, So I went to go see that doctor. He told them that I had to detox before I take this medication, Suboxone. So then while I was detoxing, I was at home, and I was probably 3 days into my detox, and I was climbing the stairs, and I was so dehydrated and so out of it that I climbed 10 stairs and I fell straight back down the stairs.
Yeah.
And I broke my humerus bone. So then that's another issue while I'm detoxing. And then
were they monitoring you while you were detoxing, like nurses or doctors at all?
No, I was at home.
Oh, they just gave you the medication, and
they gave me comfort meds.
Okay.
Hydroxyzine and stuff like that. They give you to make you feel comfortable, which make you feel comfortable, but
no one's there kind of medically.
No, I mean there wasn't anybody checking my blood pressure or checking in on me or anything like that, which is, I mean, I don't recommend it, but that was the situation I was in at the time. So I broke my bone, and then the messed up thing is the entire time I'm thinking, oh, they're going to give me pain medication. This is going to be great because I'm going to feel good. And that's all I asked for in the ambulance. I'm like, I need morphine. I need something. But I mean, they didn't know I was an addict, and I didn't tell them. So then I had to have surgery on my arm to fix my broken bone. And I didn't mention it to the doctor I was detoxing or anything like that. And so I went through that surgery while detoxing. And that wasn't a fun experience. So then that happened. And then the pain medication the doctor prescribed me wasn't sufficient enough for me because I've been using heroin, and medication's not gonna do it for me. So then I ended up calling my drug dealer and asking him to drop off some drop some off. He dropped some off, and then I started using. I felt so good, and then I kind of looked in the mirror. I'm like, "What are you doing? You just told yourself you're not gonna do it." And then I told my parents I need professional help. So then that's when I went to rehab, and then I moved to out of state for a rehab, and that was good. I was changing environment, and then I was clean for maybe close to a year, and then like you were mentioning, I pretty much was surrounded by the people I went to rehab, and especially being in a new state. So, and then had maybe a core of 3-4 friends, and then one person relapsed. And then just we all followed suit, we all lapsed. And then it just became bad. It was
spiraled again.
Yep, spiraled again. And then one of the friends was a methamphetamine user, and that's where I tried it for the first time, and I loved it, and got started using that as well. Added it to the list that I have. Yeah. So there's been times where I've gone to rehab and had clean time and then relapsed. But like I said, going to Primrose Lodge was going there. I think it was my mindset and everything was in a different place than ever. And different mindset. Just everything clicked, I guess. All things came together, environment, everything. Before I went to Primrose Lodge, I had got my 4th drink drive, but I was intoxicated under heroin, so it still goes for the same classification. So I had to do some time in jail. Before I went to jail, I got the drink drive, but I didn't stop using. Like I was still using because at that point I just didn't care anymore. I came kind of the efforts at that point, and it was just kind of like I was just still using, and my relationships with my friends weren't like I didn't have any, and like I was dating a girl, which was it was a toxic relationship. You know, we're both addicts, both using. It wasn't any, you know, it was a convenience thing, and it was just bad. I kept using, and then I went to court to get sentenced. And before I went to court, I used before I went to court, and I literally almost like I was sweating, and I pretty much overdosed in court in front of the judge.
Oh wow!
So then, like, when I went sentencing, like. All I remember is looking at the judge for a brief moment, and remember seeing her face, and then remember like getting handcuffs put on me and walking in the back. And after that, I don't remember anything. I just remember waking up in the infirmary downstairs in my orange jumpsuit, handcuffed to the bed.
Wow, that was a shock.
Yeah, and then because they had to Narcan me. And then they had to check my vitals, and then they had to take me to the hospital to make sure I was okay and bring me back. But I'm the entire time I'm in my orange jumpsuit and the handcuffs, and not fun. So I think that was like that was my moment. I mean, I've said that in the past previously at times, you know, but I think that was it for me. I think
that really
that was it. I think
that
was it. I think that was. I mean, I wouldn't say it's one moment that like, you know, changed everything, but that had definitely had a huge impact on me. That whole, like the thought of it and like being there and the emotions that go along with it. And then I was in jail for 60 days. And during that time when I was incarcerated is when my sister was able to find Primrose Lodge for me in England, and my family, my parents and my brother-in-law, and like, were wonderful to, you know, took the time to find that place. And then as soon as I left, got out of jail, like literally the next day I got on a plane and it came straight there. So like there wasn't like any in between time where like I can, you know, so
to back out there. It was like
exactly. So they knew that, and they didn't want me to like, you know, have that time. So
because people then start getting in their heads too much, you know, and then you know, just go round and round and then start making up things and excuses why not to do it. What was that like for you in jail, Arpan? That must have been really
so unfortunately it wasn't my first time in jail. Like previously when I got my drink drives and my theft and forgery charges, I had to do some time, and then I was put on probation, and I violated probation because, you know, I was still using. So I had to do like jail stints here and there, maybe a month here, 30 days here, 10 days here. Jail's not fun. I mean, you're told what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And you're surrounded by, you know, not the best of the best people. It's not fun. I mean,
were drugs available in the jail? Like
jails are different than prison. Prison, you can, like, I've never been, but I've heard and been told that you can get drugs very easily. They're very accessible. But in jail, it's a little bit tougher, I think, to get drugs. But there are ways to, you know, people didn't have it. People would get it in, or people would, you know, people are prescribed certain medications while in jail, and they would, you know, abuse those and, you know, sell it or whatever. But here and there, I mean, from what I witnessed and what I overheard, there were times where drugs were in there.
What were you feeling like on the flight over here? Were you nervous, or were you feeling ready to tackle this illness?
I think on the way there, I think I was there's like the different layers to it. I was happy to be out of jail. And then I also was like, I wouldn't say like scared, but I was also kind of like, okay, like I've been to rehab before. I know what it's like, what, you know, what's in stake, what to expect. I've done in the States. I haven't done, you know, in England. So I don't know what to expect. And then there's other layers like, okay, like I have nothing to lose. Like everything at this point is, it's going to be beneficial for me if I, put the time and effort into it.
Yeah.
And that's something I wanted. Like I was just tired. Like I did want to go back and, experience the things I experienced ever again. So
was there any difference like in the treatment or the rehab, like the way that it's operated over here to the States? Was there any difference, or was it pretty much
no?
similar?
No, I think there's this absolutely significant difference. I think it's just the approach of it is different. Yeah, like the approach of it, I think is the thing I found most the difference between the two, how it's approached, how it's but how it's like how they process it with
like the structure of it.
Yeah, the structure is different. And it's also, it's like, yeah, you might be in a group in England, like in Primrose, we had groups, but it's also like you don't feel like you're in a group. It's also like individual based. Like even though you have your one-on-one with your counselor or therapist, but then when you're in a group, you can also feel like you and the facilitator is like alone in the room, and it's like, and it's not like it's like a paper cut way of doing it, cookie cutter way of doing it.
Yeah.
And I feel like in the States, there's like, they give you pamphlets and sheets and like, it's taught, like it's the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah. So you don't feel like it's personalized much.
Yeah, a little bit more. Absolutely. And I think it's, and it's also like, it's not like it's one approach. It's not like it's coming out of a textbook. And you're like, the person's sitting there like reading, okay, this is what we're supposed to do. And this leads to this. And this is, it's more of like, I felt more the people that are facilitating it came naturally to them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the US version is bad, because I mean, people do get help and people do get clean using, that way. And also depends on where you go, what center you go to.
And what suits you as well, with your needs,
Yeah, I think for my personality and what I needed at that time, and like I said, everything came together at the right time. I think Primrose was what I needed. So yeah, absolutely. It's a different approach. Not that it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
It just the Primrose one, I think, I found it more beneficial.
Yeah. And you spent quite a lot of time, didn't you, in Primrose?
Yeah. So I think traditionally people stay 28 days, I think.
Yeah.
That's like the standard. I mean, even in the States, I think inpatient is usually 28 days for most centers. But I actually stayed 56 days. I think with my history and my family knows me pretty well. My sister knows me really well. And then, so I think just my history, everything I've been through, they knowing who I am, all that, I think they wanted to make sure that like I had, I got everything I needed out of rehab before I left, rather than like, cutting it maybe a little too soon and then going back out, So I think they just wanted to make sure I was fully equipped and, had a good foundation before I left, which absolutely did. I think they were right. I think 28 days would have been too soon, because I've done 28 days in the past, and track record shows that didn't, wasn't enough for me. But 56 days was good. It was a good amount of time. Yeah.
And how did you find like the community in Primrose?
It was great. Like the other clients there were wonderful. I still keep in touch with a few of them.
Oh, that's nice.
When I come to England, I touch base with them and meet up with them. So it's good. I met some like lifelong friends. It was good. Like the therapist that I had was assigned to, she was wonderful. She helped me so much. Like it was absolutely incredible. I think I was lucky and blessed to have her. She broke me down and made me cry in group a few times, but I think she was able to, break down my wall, and I felt comfortable being vulnerable as well. So I think it was wonderful. She was able to give me what I needed and knew exactly what I needed, and it was great. Like she was wonderful. The staff was wonderful. Some of the staff that no longer work there, I think they've gone to other places, but I still keep in touch some of the staff as well. So like, it's good. Like I with the staff and the environment, I couldn't say anything negative about the people who are there.
You know, when you came to complete Arpan, were you worried about leaving? Like, especially after quite a bit of time, like, were you worried to leave, or what? Did you feel confident enough after that amount of time to then, you know what the plan is, what you now need to do? How was that for you?
It was a little like nerve-wracking and kind of like nervous and like doubtful, but I think what added is like that I was going back to America. It was like going back to a whole, going back to a whole different country, and it's just like completely different. But then when I left Primrose, I decided to stay with my sister and her family for a few months before I went back to the States. So that way, like, I can get out, go to meetings, do stuff like kind of in, quote unquote, like
a little bit more.
Yeah, real world, settle in, go to meetings and like, plan or set up what's the next steps when you get back to the States.
Yeah.
So that was another aspect that was really, really helpful. So
I think it probably would have been a bit too overwhelming to do all of that at once,
Sure. So it's like taking baby steps.
But
so like that definitely was beneficial and helpful as well. So then I stayed with her a few months, and then when I felt comfortable, I came back to the States. And then when I went back to the States, I was actually excited and eager to like start getting things done, or starting like my life, or working towards the things I wanted to do. So I mean that nervousness is, I think it's natural. It's always going to be in the back of your head when you're making moves or doing that, but it wasn't overwhelming, because in the past I'd get anxious, anxiety, and then that would just lead down. But I haven't felt that way, or don't feel that way, and I didn't feel it that way at that time. So it was good.
Yeah. Do you think as well, like taking those, gradual, like you said, baby steps is what helped you as well, rather than, try and, sometimes people try and, they put a lot of pressure on themselves as soon as they come out, and it overwhelms them, and it gets a bit too much. How was that for you this time? Was it a gradual process?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like it was definitely, the baby steps helped me. And also like being realistic about goals, and being realistic about, being, what you want to do, and realizing that it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen maybe a day or two. Like it's going to take some time, and just being patient and coming to terms with that was huge. But like also not to get overwhelmed and hard on yourself if things don't work out, or in the timely fashion, because I mean most things don't go the way you want to go. So you just have to realize that you're doing something that's beneficial for yourself, and you're healthy and you're clean. Then some things take longer than the others. You just have to be patient with it. But I mean that comes with a lot of practice and meditating was a big thing for me. It helped me a lot. So
did you keep like a routine in place? Do you still have a routine, like your sleeping pattern and like a daily routine for yourself?
Yeah. So my sleeping patterns are fine. Like I go to sleep, like I didn't have any like very harsh pause, like with like post-acute withdrawal syndrome. I didn't have very severe effects of that. Sleeping patterns fine. I sleep 7-8 hours, 6-7 hours a night. Just depends. Like sometimes I gotta get up early, and sometimes I'm stay up late because some things, stuff happens. But for the most part, like I would, routine's a big thing. Like would wake up, go to, like, I'm back in the States, so wake up, go to the gym, come home, have breakfast, do work, and keep that. And like go, initially went to a few meetings, found what meetings I liked and didn't like, found a home group that, found a group that I loved and made it my home group. So just doing the little things for yourself to make sure that you stay, consistent. Just like any human, like I would have a routine and then sometimes kind of slack off, and but you just have to like make sure you catch yourself, and don't, if you slacked off 2 days and you catch yourself, don't slack off the third day. So having a routine, exercising has been a huge game changer for me, mentally, physically. Yeah, so like trying to like at least
thing as well, like when you're working out or exercising, then you tend to eat much healthier as well. Absolutely. It goes together, doesn't it?
Absolutely, because you don't want to like waste, if you worked all that worked out so hard, like why would you want to waste it on junk food? But yeah, so like it just kind of like you do a few things that are like good for you, and then other things will like you automatically will maybe do it. But yeah, having a routine was big for me. Like it is big for me. There are like certain like 3 or 4 things that I stick to, that I do on a daily or weekly basis, and I make sure I do it. Sometimes, might not be the time I want to do it, but at least I do get it done. So
yeah.
Things do come up.
How's your life looking now? Like how do you feel about yourself now, Arpan? Have you got your confidence back? Do you practice like being kind and self-love? Is that really important as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, like kindness has always been big. Like I think it's just, especially going through the things that I've gone through, I think just having some empathy and compassion for people, not not always judging people. So like just practicing kindness and being kind to one another, not judging people, and helping someone if you can help them. And being kind it's free, so it's not like you're going and spending so much. It's just to be nice to someone. So like it's a very little things that you can do to like help. It actually makes you feel better than the other person. So you're actually helping yourself by being kind. But like I have 100% more confidence in myself and who I am, like what I want in life and what I'm willing to tolerate and what I'm willing to accept. Absolutely. Like I'm so much more confident in my skin. It's a good feeling, and so I think it just comes with a progression over time of like learning who you are, taking the time, being kind to yourself and others, and you realize a lot of things about yourself as well. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And are healthy boundaries like important to you now in your life, like learning to say no to things and knowing what you can and can't, learning to put boundaries with people and places and situations?
Absolutely. Boundaries, like absolutely, just learning, because before I didn't have any boundaries. I was just whatever, anybody, anything. Having boundaries, absolutely. A sense of giving you a freedom of having boundaries as well. And like I take my peace of mind trumps everything else. It's my peace of mind is priceless. So like I'd rather have that than anything else. So like being content and being a peace of mind and no like drama or whatever, the unstable, like makes your mind unstable is not for me. So like that includes people and places and things, and like if it's not for me, I'm not going, or I don't want to put myself in the situation, right? So I just draw the line there, and it works wonders. Like my mind is so much at peace, and it's so calm that like it's just I don't worry about other people's problems.
Yeah. So, how's your relationship now, like with your family?
It's good. Like it's stronger. It grows and it gets stronger and stronger. I'm still living at home back in the States. I'm living with my parents. Relationship's great. I mean, they and of course, like going back, we've had discussions about like what my use and how it had affected them and how it's what they were going through. So like had that moment to like, see the other perspective of like what they've felt and what they've gone like. So our relationship is great. Like I couldn't ask for a better, they're there for me and I'm there for them. And the trust is back. I mean, it's going to take time, but it's great. Like I couldn't ask for anything else. And then my sister and our, like my relationship with her husband, it's great. Like they've always been there for me. And like I have a niece and nephew, and like my niece is 12 and my nephew is he'll be 10. And years ago, like I was absent in their lives, and family vacations I wasn't there, and like it's just missed everything. And now I'm always there, like kind of like making up for missed time, which is great. Like I wish it would have happened sooner, but it's like I go visit them like twice a year, and like we go on vacations. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. And you're present for them now, you're there with them.
Yeah, I know. It's
enjoying the time.
It's wonderful. Like I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm so excited. Like I'm going to see them in August, and like that's all I can think about is just spending time with my family. So it's good.
Really great. You've got a good family, good support.
Yeah, I'm really lucky and blessed. Absolutely, yeah.
Do you still go to meetings, Arpan? Do you still engage with support?
Yeah. So like I have my home group. I go to my home group once a week. There are times, I mean, if I'm out of town, and there's times where I've missed it here and there, but I try to be diligent about it and go to my home meeting or my home group, at least go to it once a week. And I've met some people in the community that are fellow meeting goers and addicts. So touch base with them from time to time. But I like my really good friend is also a recovering addict, and he works in the substance abuse field. We talk on a daily basis. So I do have a good people to lean on if I need to.
Yeah. Is that really important to you to have that, to be able to have a support and people that you can talk to about these things, on a regular basis?
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert anyways. So like for me, it's just like if I need someone to talk to and I got someone to talk to, I'm okay. Yeah, I mean, some people like need more than that, right? So some people need everyone's to each their own. Some people need, a group of people to talk to, or they need more avenues. But I have a good core of people I can lean on, and I'm content. That's all I need. So I'm lucky to have that.
Yeah. So it's just kind of finding, what works for you really in your recovery, in your life.
Because everyone's different.
Yeah.
Once you find what you need and what you want, especially what you need, I think it makes a huge difference. So then you know where to go if you need help. So
yeah. If you could say like one thing to your past self, Arpan, what would it be?
Love yourself and be honest with yourself. I think those are two things I would tell myself. Like always be true to yourself and always like love yourself.
Yeah.
Self-love.
Yeah, self-love, honestly, like it's a life changer that really is.
It absolutely is.
Coming from a place of ego is coming from a place of unconditional love, like you get from your mum and dad.
Yeah, absolutely.
So important.
It's a beautiful, like it's a wonderful thing. And I think unconditional love only comes from a few sources, right? Like parents might be one of them. But yeah, it's like to be true to yourself, be honest with yourself, and love yourself, Like if you show yourself some self-love, maybe you want to go through all the stuff I went through. But yeah, it's good. I think that's what I would definitely tell myself. Absolutely. And everybody else too. Like, love yourself. Be honest with yourself.
If you could say something, to someone that is struggling at the moment and is considering reaching out for help, what would you say?
I mean, the easy answer would be like to do it, just reach out. But I think it's more difficult than just to do it. Just remember that you're worth it. Like everyone's worth it. Like no matter what you've done or what you've been through or who you hurt or who you stole, like anything that you've done can change. And you have to want to change in order to, have anything change. And then make sure that everyone's worth it. Like everyone deserves and is worth to live a happy life.
Yeah.
Like, just to realize that everyone's worth it. Everyone deserves to be loved, and love yourself and get some help, because you're definitely worth it.
That's great, Arpan. And what would you say to someone, that's like yourself in treatment currently and is coming up to leaving and going back home? What would your bit of advice be to them?
I don't want to say anything cliche that I say in the meetings, but just like have not like a full scale plan, but have a little, maybe an outline of things that rather than things that you want to do, how about you make a list of things that you're not willing to do and live off that? Like, I'm not willing to talk to XYZ, or I'm not willing to use drugs. And that sometimes kind of simplifies a list, and it doesn't seem as overwhelming, right? I'm not willing to do this. Oh, okay, then they'll tell you what you are willing to do. So like, make a little list and have a little plan, meetings or whatever avenue that, helps you. Have it like kind of planned out and follow it as best you can. And don't be hard on yourself if you miss a day or two,
Yeah.
Don't be hard on yourself.
Especially after treatment, they tend to really, especially in the early days, be very, very hard on themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And expect everything, like you were saying, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process which does take time, and you have highs and you have lows. And it's all part of the journey. So I think that's really important. Don't be hard on yourself. Just take it day by day.
And then having expectations. Like, if you have expectations, they're gonna lead to resentments. So don't expect everything all at once, or don't expect you to be perfect. None of us are, and I have bad days, and I have days where I don't do anything. So
and we learn from those bad days. Those bad days are there. Not as I think not to just sit there and beat ourselves up over it, but then to acknowledge the bad days and say, okay, what can I do different tomorrow? What can I do different today that I did on that bad day? So look at it as a chance to grow in your journey as well.
Absolutely.
Any last words, Arpan, for the guys listening?
My journey has been up and down, left, right, dark and light, I guess. But there's been a lot of learning experiences and situations, and let your story be what drives you to live a better life. So everyone, like I said, everyone's worth it. Everyone deserves it. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. It's not worth it. Trust me. I know it's everyone says it. It's just not worth it. But only you can determine if it's worth it or not. So I wish everyone the best, and do something good for yourself, be kind to each other.
Yeah. Amazing. Thanks, Arpan. And I think, credit to you as well. You've been through a lot in your journey, and you've not given up. You kept going, and you kept giving it another try. And, now you're sitting here today, telling your story, on the other side with a new life. So well done. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's not like you said it. I think about it, but then someone else sing it to you. Yeah, I shouldn't be alive, but I am. I'm blessed. I'm lucky. So, and then the one thing, my sister's gonna kill me if I say this. I don't know if he's gonna talk. The chef at Primrose Lodge was absolutely amazing. I'm not sure if he's still there or not, but kudos to him. I absolutely love the food there. Oh,
bless you. It's good that you were tucking in and building yourself back up with the food. It's really important.
It was amazing. I would call my sister. I was telling you, I'd call my sister when I'd talk to her, and I would tell her every single day. And then one day she's like, "Oh, if you say that one more time, I'm going to smack you.
I'm never going to cook for you again."
Well, she doesn't cook anyways, but she was just you didn't go to rehab for the food. I'm like, well, I know.
But it's really important because, you know, you got to remember, you know, you guys haven't eaten for like a long time properly. So the food is really important.
It is really important. And then, like, I think the food is just so much better over there than it is in the States, just comparatively. So, like, that even added to, like, the enjoyment of the food.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Oh, bless you. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you guys for listening. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
You have been listening to Screaming on the Inside, a UKAT podcast. Thanks again for joining us, and a huge thank you to Arpan for sharing his inspirational story with us today, and for having the courage and strength to be so open and honest. As always, you can find further support links and information below and on the UKAT website. Go to www.ukat.co.uk.